Axel's Garage.
God.
Again, my kids are making fun of me. Alright, you know what? Stephen, go away. Go away.
Can you please
Welcome to Axel's Garage. Today, I'm in Axel's kitchen, and all my kids are around me making fun of me. And there's my wife ducking by the camera. Because today, it rained all day. And my plan today in the rain was to, yes, I talk with my hands, Stephen. Anyway, my plan today was to come in here and take care of some of the honey-do list. For those of you who don't know what a honey-do list is, that means you're not married, you don't live with your girlfriend, you don't have a child, then you don't have a honey-do list. So if you don't want to know what a honey-do list is, don't do any of those things, and you won't know what a honey-do list is. Speaking of not doing those things, last weekend, we were in UNC Chapel Hill, and as we're driving through the campus on a nice Saturday afternoon, we saw a bridal party coming out of the campus, and they had just gotten married, and the bride and her bridesmaids crossed the street in front of us, and the groom and his groomsmen came out, and I gave him a little bit of advice, and I rolled the window down, and I looked at him and said, "My condolences to the groom." And he'll remember that. It might be a month from now, it might be a year from now, it might be 10 years from now, but he'll get into some argument over his honey-do list, and he will remember that guy on my wedding day that drove through campus right after I got married and offered me his condolences. So with that being said, and my kids all around me making fun of me because I talk with my hands. Yes, I talk with my hands. Today we're going to conquer some of the honey-do list. So, on this honey-do list, no, I'm not talking to you right now. Holy cow! Today, on my honey-do list, it's fixing a Frigidaire gas range. Now, what happened back in May was we turned the gas range on. It's the oven part of the range here behind me. We turn it on, and it wouldn't get warm. It wouldn't ignite. And then we turned it off and turned it on, turn it off and turn it on, turn it off and turn it on, and all of a sudden it would ignite and it would work. And that went on for about 6 weeks or so. And then it got really bad, where we'd have to turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. And anytime we wanted to use it, it was like an hour before we really wanted to turn it on, we'd have to start playing with it. And turning it off, let it sit on for 10 minutes, then turn it off for 10 minutes, turn it on, and eventually it would light. And somewhere, what? Really? Somewhere around, I guess it's July, or it's October now, but July, it just stopped working completely. And I figured that, you know, no harm, no foul. But apparently, my wife's been bitching that she's got no oven to cook with, and she's been using the crock pot, the barbecue, and the stovetop to do everything. Matter of fact, I'm trying to get this done all day today. Couldn't get it done. Finally, we get home tonight after football, and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to fix the oven.
Finally. And
what does she have to do? She's got to put a pot on the stove with rice because the dog's got the shits, and she wants to make them rice. So, what? That's the truth. See, again, my family's supporting me in making these videos, just sitting here one by one. They're around the room making fun of me. So, we're going to attack this. We're going to attack this range. Now, yes, Boss Hog has the craps. And the phone's going to ring too. Nobody calls the house phone. Just disconnect it. Just answer it, do something. Okay. And it's going to ring. Alright, let it ring. Now, the last time we had an appliance break, it was the washing machine. So I called an appliance repair guy to come in because the washing machine was only a couple years old, out of warranty, of course, but a couple years old. And I called the appliance guy. So the appliance guy's, I'm coming tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock came, he never came. So, really, Mom?
Sorry.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, pass by, go ahead. Go ahead, here she comes. All right. Going at that level is probably not the best thing you could do on camera. But all right, anyway, the washing machine broke. Now, when the washing machine broke, and the appliance guy never showed up, I started doing the Google tube. Remember, that's my word, Google tube. Right, so I start Googling, and I start YouTubing, and what did I find out? I found out a whole way of trying to check the washing machine to see what it is. They said, unplug this, do this, take this cover off, do this, do this, do this, do this. Yes, I'm talking about the washing machine.
Okay.
Follow along. That's Steve-O. Anyway, the washing machine, I go through all this trial and error, and I think I can figure out what's wrong with it by following along with the YouTube videos that I found. But then what happens? The guy calls up and apologizes. Oh, I missed the appointment. I didn't see the slip, this, that. I'll come tomorrow. So tomorrow comes and he comes. What does he do? He does the exact same thing that I did. Yes, yes.
No.
He did the exact same thing I did to get that washing machine fixed. And what did he determine? He determined exactly what I would have determined, that it costs way too much money to fix the washing machine, throw it out and go buy another one. And then charge me $65 for the house call. So to circumvent the $65 house call, really the microwave too? To circumvent the $65 house call, I did my Google tubing on the oven, and I narrowed down what I thought it was, and of course she moved my parts, but there they are. We figured out that there's an igniter for the main oven burner and an igniter for the broiler. So they said, check and see if your broiler works. So I hit the broiler, bump, turn it on, lights right up. So they said the igniter for the oven goes bad before the one for the broiler, because you're always using the one for the oven and you use the one for the broiler less often. So I went online, I found a Electrolux direct replacement igniter, and I don't know what, it's one of those flameless, it's not an ignition that goes... Really? Okay. It's not an ignition thing that goes like on the stovetop. It's an element that glows red and ignites the gas. So it says direct replacement. It's Electrolux. I guess Frigidaire and Electrolux are together. It happens a lot when you buy appliance parts, apparently. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 big companies, and they own all the small brands. So it's an Electrolux. It costs, I forget what it costs now because I ordered this back in July. Don't tell her.
I knew it was July.
Oh, you knew it was?
Everybody at work, my oven's still not fixed.
All right.
It's July.
Okay, good. Anyway, we bought this part. It was less than $20. I think it might have been 12 something. All right, but it's a hot surface igniter or something like that. Call it something like that. Comment below if you really know the name of it. But anyway, all it is an element that glows hot. You screw it in. This goes in the oven part. The wires snake down and go underneath behind the drawer. And of course, it's a direct replacement, but look at this. There's no plugs on the end. So you actually have to cut the wires, and you got to splice them in, and they give you little ceramic wire nut caps, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to move the camera. We're going to look and take all the stuff out of the oven so that we can get at this thing, and we'll put it in, and my wife will have an oven, and she'll be happy, and I'll be the hero for, I don't know, 6 hours. 6 hours, honey? You think it's 6 hours? 6 hours or so, because I did one of the things on the honey-do list. You see, if you do your honey-do list right away, it's no big deal. You just did your job as a husband. But if you wait 6 months to do something on your honey-do list, then they're excited. And if you could surprise them, which is what I tried to do by doing it today while everybody was out, and I was home by myself, but no, the phone was ringing, interruptions, I couldn't do it. I was hoping for a surprise when she got home today. She would have had a working oven, but now she's giving me the eyes, and we're going to get this done.
Want sauce?
Because I was busy, that's why.
Do you want sauce?
Anyway, okay, down here on the floor, I got my old man glasses on, and we're in front of this Frigidaire Gas Range that is 14 years old, and is already, it seems like every appliance that we bought 14 years ago, we bought all new appliances, and it seems like every one in the last year or two is starting to have problems and need some kind of repair. So anyway, this is a Frigidaire Gas Range. Inside, you can see it's really not that dirty for a gas range. Most gas ranges after 14 years, even if you clean them regularly, get pretty dirty inside. But my wife keeps it very clean. You know how she keeps it clean? Take out. That's out. Inside the range, you can see I already removed the shelves and that bottom section that goes in. It's 2 flathead screws, comes out real easy, and you pull that out, and you can see the igniter right next to the burner tube. So that igniter unscrews from down there, the wires fish down, and what the directions say that came with the replacement part is to cut the wires and then feed the new wires down. The problem is, when you look down below, outside of the heating area of the oven through the insulation, and you see the wires down there, you can't tell which wire comes with which. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew that igniter, and I'm going to have one of my assistants heckling me back here. I'm going to have them jiggle it up and down so I can figure out which screws. Or maybe Boss Hog will be helping me. Alright. I think inside the oven you'll see, here's the old igniter. Screws in right here to a bracket on the burner. and the wires go down below. So what I'm gonna have is one of my kids or somebody that can help me
What?
pull this up and down. I'll go underneath and see if we
Okay.
can figure out where the wires go. Okay, pull that thing. All right, wait. Pull it. Good. Let it go back down. All right, pull it again. Am I pulling it back out of your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Here I am. All right, she pulled on it. I figured out which wires. Now I know which ones to cut. Be right back. Okay, inside here, I'm not sure if there's a polarity issue with one wire going to one and the other. So what I'm going to do is come in and I'm going to cut the bottom wire. Alright, so that's the bottom wire that I cut. I cut that bottom wire, and I'm going to tug both of the wires below so that the one that comes through, I know, okay, that's the bottom wire, and I know which wires to hook up on my other ones, so that I'm hooking up the top to the top, the bottom to the bottom, so I don't have any polarity issue. The directions don't indicate if polarity makes a difference, so I'm not sure, so just to play it safe, I'm going to do it this way so that I know I have the right polarity. Okay, well, after cutting the bottom wire, I was able to tug on the two wires. One tugged easy, I tugged it all the way through, and the bottom one actually, luckily, I had a 50% chance, and I finally got one right. It came through, and that's a long one that goes into some kind of harness. The top wire, I was able to unplug, and it's got a regular spade connector, female spade connector, with some kind of rubber insulated boot that goes over it. So instead of splicing the wires together, I could just go in the garage, get another spade connector, put that in on the top wire on the replacement part. The bottom wire on the replacement part, I could feed through the hole and make my splice down in the non-heated area where it's supposed to be, and use one of those little ceramic wire nuts to get them together. So that's going to work out pretty good. Let me go get my new part, cut the wire down to about this size, and because those wires on the new one are pretty long, and put a spade connector on, and then we'll get back to install it back in. Okay, back down at the oven, I put a insulated spade connector on it because all I had was insulated and it was too tough to get the insulation off, but this rubber sleeve is going to go over it to protect it from any heat. It's really not in the heated cabinet itself, it's below the insulation in an unheated portion of the oven underneath. So I'm going to snake these wires back down that hole in the back of the cabinet where the originals came through, and I'll put this in place, and then I'll have to go underneath, plug the spade terminal in to the original spot that it was in, cut back some of that old wire for the bottom wire that I had cut initially up high, and put it together with the ceramic wire nut that they give you in the kit. I put a little electrical tape over it just for good measure. It's not in the heated area, but you want to make sure your connection's good. It is going to come apart, and we should be good to go. If I look a little bloated right now, I just stopped and had some pizza off camera. It was good. And a little bit of a calzone as well. And now we'll get this stuff back together. I made my connections underneath. I held the igniter in with just one of the two screws. It turns out I took them out with a small Phillips head screwdriver, but they're not actually Phillips head. They're hex head, little hex head screws that have a square drive in the middle, so I'm going to need to either get a wrench or a square drive to put them in the right way. I have one screw in hand tight just to hold it in place. Made my connections below the one spade terminal and slid that heat insulator over it, and then I spliced in the other one using the ceramic wire nut that it came with, and made sure the wires were away from the heat. They're outside the heat box through the insulation. Just coiled them up like it said in the directions so that they were away from any heat source. And now let's see if this thing ignites. Oh, Michelle.
I'm watching.
Oh, Michelle dear, would you like to fire up your oven?
I'll give you the honors here.
But I'm sitting down on the floor. Can you please fire up the oven? She doesn't get it sometimes.
I'm at the sink with my hands all wet, washing some pieces of the oven.
Just turn the oven on.
Need my glasses. It's been so long I forgot where the buttons were.
Alright, she hit the button. It says 350. I heard something click.
The oven.
The things?
Yeah.
She said the things clicked. Okay, the igniter's getting hot. Oh, I see a glowing igniter. There's a glowing igniter. What are you shushing
You
me?
have to hear that poof thing.
The
noise.
poof thing is the stove lighting. Look, gas. Oh! Oh! Appliance repairman we do not need. Turn it off quick before it gets hot. Okay. We're good to go.
No, we're
She
not.
just hit the off button. It takes a couple seconds for it to turn off, lady. It's not, come on. All right. She hit the off button. Takes a couple seconds for it to turn. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's turning off. All right, now before we heat it all up, it's a good opportunity to wash those two bottom pans. They do catch some debris, some burnt food, some spillage. We also noticed like a little bit of ash in there. I guess that's when you do the self-cleaning thing. That's where any ash settles. And underneath the warming drawer below, or the storage drawer, I forget. Does this have a warming drawer?
No.
It's just a storage drawer underneath. Just a storage drawer underneath. Underneath that, it is a little dusty. Some dog hair and a couple of pieces of candy. A little bit of dog hair. Of course you can have dog hair. We have dogs. You're going to have dog hair under your appliances. So we're going to get the vacuum out. Going to vacuum anything out while we have it apart, and then we'll all put it back together, and guess what? Mission accomplished. I can check this one off my honey-do list. And you're going to bake me something?
Not tonight, dear.
Not tonight. Maybe she'll bake me some peach cobbler. That's it. It was a goofy episode this time at Axel's Garage. See you next time.